Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here and welcome to my first ever F1 career mode on YouTube. I'm so excited for this. This is bound to be brilliant, I'm sure it is, but welcome to your first ever viewing, I suppose, if you've not seen this already, of F1 2020. We're going to hop straight in. I'm going to go through with you the details of basically setting up your own team in your career mode and seeing what it's like. First thing you need to do is do a character select to see what your character's like and kind of customise it. They're never the best, really, to be honest with you, when you can choose a character or whatnot. But the next screen after that is choosing your team name. So I did run a poll and my subscribers wanted me to call the team OnlyFans Racing. But I thought I might get in a little bit of trouble with that. So we've gone for BOR, which is very similar to BAR, which is why I liked it, but it stands for Basic Ollie Racing. So it's quite standard, but I like the idea of the name. I think someone suggested it in one of the polls I did as well. So I just like the suggestion of it. I liked it. So whoever suggested that, thank you very much. But BOR is going to be the name of our Formula 1 team. Next step, you've got to decide what sponsor you like. And now this is very important because you've obviously got a choice between... there's like different goal bonuses and weekly incomes. The higher the objective, the more money you do get paid for the signing bonus and, you know, throughout the week and stuff. But obviously that comes with a higher objective, so it is a massive pain in the bottom to achieve. So we went with Slingshot Fuel because their objective is simply to score 15 Constructors Championship points, which I think we can do. I don't think we'll have an issue with that. I think we'll be absolutely fine. Next stage then is to select the power unit. Now the power unit is, you've got a choice of Honda, Renault, Mercedes or Ferrari. Now I would advise that anyone who gets this game to avoid Ferrari, because we all know after watching Austrian Grand Prix just how slow the Ferrari engines are now. If anything, they're probably the worst engines on the grid, which is remarkable, really, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go with Honda because I love the way the engine sounds in real life. Especially at Red Bull, I think it sounds awesome in the lower gear. So I'm hoping we're going to get that same sort of experience when we do ours as well. So very much looking forward to using the Honda engine. Yes, it has the worst stats, but you know, we can build on that. Next step here then is to pick a teammate, and the first option I get is Ragunathan, and I can tell you, I'm not doing it for the memes. I'm not selecting him. All right, no chance. There is no way I'm picking that dude. He's absolutely awful. Looking through his stats, by the way, his experience is 27. According to this, he has more awareness than Nikita next to him, which is just bizarre. There's no way, there's no stat that Ragunathan should have that's higher than anyone else in this game. Absolutely none. He's an absolutely awful racing driver. We all know that. He's an absolute meme of a racing driver. So there's no way I'm picking this guy. But the selection of, I have to say, of picking an F2 driver is really cool. But going through the selection here, I saw Jack Aitken at the very end. I was like, yeah, I'm having him. I was like, I'm snapping him up straight away. We've saved a little bit of money on the engine, so I'm going to go all out and pick a decent team out. And Jack Aitken, by far, I thought was the best option yet. Yes, he didn't have the highest pace, but his awareness and racecraft is very good. So we've chose him, but that is basically our team. So we've got Jack Aitken as our teammate. Our Honda is our engine supplier, and we've got Slingshot as our main sponsor. And the last thing you have to do just before you set off as well is basically do like the team colours and livery. You've got a selection to choose from. It's not a great selection, if I'm being honest. Pretty basic. See what I did there. But yeah, it's not a massive great selection. But logo wise, I want to go for like yellow and black to stick with the YouTube logo that I've got. Same with the car as well. I will edit the race suits later on. I think I just accidentally missed that. So we got the badge and we got the slingshot on it, but red race suits probably don't suit it very well, you have to say, to be honest with you. So yeah, we'll definitely look at changing that. And I also wanted to show you guys that well, the settings that I've gone for career mode. So we've gone for 50% race distance. I always think that's a nice distance, to be honest. You don't want to do 100% because it can get a little bit tedious or boring. AI difficulty. In previous games, I normally run at 105. I think 110 is a bit too stressful, like you're just sweating it out. So because this is our first race weekend and we're getting used to the game and stuff like that, I've stuck on 100. So I think that's pretty respectable considering I haven't touched a an F1 game in 6 months, I don't believe. So I think that's pretty respectable. Going through the gameplay settings as well. Vehicle damage we always have on simulation. Safety cars got to be on. Corner cutting on regular, because I don't want to have to worry about, oh, he's touched a little, he's just gone a little bit over the white line, he's going to get a corner cut. I can't be asked for that. That's not going to happen. And then the driving proficiency, or the assists are on elite, so everything is manual. Okay, everything is. But we've got an interview now with Will Buxton, so let's see what goes on here.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT, and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams, and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula One too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill, and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula One, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
Well, Mr. Buxton, it won't be easy, but we'll be doing our very best. It's going to be difficult, but we'll find a way.
Every team needs 2 drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates?
I won't lie to you, Will. I follow him on Twitter. That's what attracted me to him.
No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
Well, no offence to Claire Williams, but it's got to be the Williams, because it's pretty trash, isn't it? So that's the team we'll be aiming to beat.
How are you expecting the car to feel out on track?
Well, that's a good question, Will. I'm hoping it's going to feel absolutely fantastic. We don't know yet, because we've not driven it yet. But fingers crossed, it's going to feel amazing.
The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
Well, I've been playing the Formula One games since they first came out, so I feel very experienced compared to the other teams, actually, and I feel that will give me a great advantage over them.
Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
Because we are going to absolutely yeet the rest of the competition if they do get in our way.
And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
The department that decided not to hire Raghu Nathan, because that's probably the best decision anyone in any racing team can ever make.
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
Okay, so now we've finished that interview with Will Buxton. We are now on the career mode main menu. So this is what you're going to see. It looks a bit complicated, and it doesn't, if you're not used to it, it might look a little bit confusing. You'll get used to it. I'm still not 100% myself, but there's lots of new things to go through, tabs, things you can look at, like your aerodynamics, your facilities, R&D, vehicle, corporate standing, loads of different things you can go for. You've got to build up the facilities and stuff like that in the career mode, which is really, really cool. You do get resource points like in the other F1 games, but you can build up things like the fabrication, the build time, quality control, and stuff like that. But it does it does cost quite a bit. So be very careful how much you spend your money when you start the career mode. You may want to just hang back a little bit on what you spend. So probably don't go for the Ferrari engine and then the best teammate. It might be a deadly combination. I was pleasantly surprised though by our vehicle performance comparison. As you can see, we're actually above Haas and Williams, which is a big surprise. I really thought we were going to be last. especially with picking the Honda power unit, because it is the worst one there. So I wonder where we would have been then if we actually picked Ferrari. But as you can see, this looks quite similar, apart from like the corporate, the standings, the facilities, and this menu here looks kind of familiar. You can see about spending your R&D points and stuff like that. So that aspect you probably will recognise. But without further ado, let's crack on, shall we? And let's finally get into practice.
Morning, boss. Jeff here. Thanks again for bringing me on board. You've found a lot of talented people for this team. I can't wait to see what we can accomplish. Our journey to the Constructors' Championship starts here today, and the car is ready to head out whenever you are.
Yes, good morning, Jeff. We have found a lot of talented people in this team. Unfortunately, you're not one of them. You are so annoying. You are so annoying in this game. But anyways, let's forget about that. So all the practice programs then, they look very similar to last year, so I don't think there's any changes in that aspect of the game. But first thing we're going to do then, we're going to do the track acclimatization. So this is going to be my first ever go on this game.
You can check the details in the car monitor. We'll get good data for both the race and factory teams, so they're well worth running. Okay, the track is green right now, so take a few laps to get the tyres up to temperature. Try and feel your way around.
Here we go then, first ever attempt on this game. Let's make sure we actually turn the pit limiter off. Oh my goodness, right, okay. Not the best start, across the white line already. But as we go into this first corner, I'm taking it very cautiously. The steering was all over the place, so I had to change it. So if you do have a Logitech G29, you may have to look into the steering settings, alright, because the default one is absolutely awful, it just doesn't work. I think you need to change the latency, I think it's called, up to 50, because it just does not work well on the Logitech G29 at all. But anyways, first kind of lap, locking up the front right there quite badly, but aiming for purple times or sectors or whatever you want to call them, going through these markers here. We've got 3 already, and that's our 4th one. The target score we need to go purple in this session is a 4.95, but I'm just going to apologise for my driving. Again, this is my first ever kind of run out in this car or on this game, so I'm still very much getting used to it, but so far so good. I think it's been nice and smooth. We had a little bit of a lock up, but we're putting purple sectors or whatnot in already, so very happy with that. I need to stop calling them sectors because they're not, are they? But yeah, we're going purple in these little objectives here, so it's looking good so far. I reckon a few more purples and we should smash this one already. But this is kind of your first look really of what this game looks like. I have to say, it runs like a dream. It's really good. I'm running this on PC at the moment, and it's running really well. So very happy. Really difficult. The second to last corner, very difficult in this game for me. I found anyways to rotate the car quick enough. It just kind of didn't have that front end downforce to turn the car. I think it may be more the car than anything else, to be honest. But yeah, first session done, or first track acclimatization. And we get purple, so very happy with that. Next program that we have to do then is the tyre management. Now this is going to be the last one I'll show you, because I don't want to go through all of them, otherwise this video is going to be an hour long, and that's just ridiculous. But the next one we've got to do then is tyre management, and we have put on the medium tyres for this. So again, this is my second running out. I found that in this running, again, I was looking at that, I'm locked up front left. So much, and that honestly, that second to last corner is like kryptonite. I don't know what was going on with me there, but one thing I will say about this game, the overtake button, it's absolutely awesome. It's such a good addition to the game. I can't wait for you guys to try it, because honestly, it makes such a difference to the game. It really does, and it's so powerful as well. It's so powerful, and you really don't have to mess about with the ERS deployment as much. You can quite easily just leave it in medium. Use the overtake button and then just save the ERS for a lap or so and then start using it again. It's absolutely fine. It's so much easier to handle this year, which is absolutely great, because I remember last year was a nightmare, wasn't it? But going through these corners then, we're up on the delta, but again, we're not as smooth as I'd like us to be, but that's just going to come with time and patience, to be honest. The more we play this game, the better we're going to be. It's a lot smoother around there. That's what you want. Minimal steering really on the steering wheel, as this is a tyre management program. So yeah, we want to manage the tyre wear as much as we possibly can. Going through this very fast section here then, doing it quite smoothly. I'm quite happy with that so far. There's a lot of time to be found, but you can see as soon as I activate that overtake button, the time we gain is insane. It does really make a difference. But we're half a second up on what we need to. But you're just going to see this corner again. It's really, I just like struggle to rotate the car to get. I don't know what it is, and we lose like 2-3 tenths, which is a massive amount of time. So thankfully, we managed to do a half decent lap before then, and we're about half a second up. So we managed to get through it. But that's the tyre management done as well. So there's 2 purple already. I will crack on with the rest of them, and then we will see how we do in qualifying. Now, my strategy for qualifying was just to get out there and get as much practice in there as much as I possibly can, because we have not had this car up to full pace yet, really. So I'm going to have to do as many laps as I can in this short 18-minute session. Probably going to have to use all 3 set of tyres, but I just want to be the first guy out there. So as soon as the game kind of loaded up and qualifying was underway, I made sure I got myself out straight away, no messing about, and we went straight onto our flying lap. So this is our real first flying lap then, and you see the fuel mixture is on max then, and the ERS is on high or whatnot. So first corner, just cutting the first bit a little bit, and the car gets really unsettled from the first corner. So not a great start, but we've got plenty more attempts on this if we need to. Braking on the last board of the red marker on the left hand side there, into third, into fourth, trying to rotate the corner as much as I can. I feel maybe third gear might be a better selection for us there. Taking all the curb on the left hand side, absolutely taking the mick, and again taking the mick of the curb on the right and the left. That was actually quite nice there, that was quite smooth. I didn't think that was too shabby. This here then, I kind of just brake after the white line disappears, but yeah, you can just see our lock up and it's not good. It's not a clean lap at all so far. It really needs, there's a lot of improvement to be made, and we're only halfway through this lap at the moment, so it's not looking too promising. Going through this fast section, this fast swooping section, that was a lot better. Activating DRS as soon as we possibly can. A good sign of what our pace was like is the fact that the Alfa Romeo in front of us was it was pulling away quite easily, so that was not a good sign. And then here comes our corner, our kryptonite. Put it in second gear, trying to rotate the car as fast as I possibly can, but it was smooth on the throttle there, and it was a nice smooth exit out here, but just not enough, But since we're going to be using all 3 tyre sets, let's push again. So let's see if we can actually make this corner this time. Yes, that was a lot better, and it was a lot smoother. The car's not all over the place on the rear end. Again, activating DRS at the perfect point. You can see we're 3 temps up on our previous lap already, so much bigger improvement. Looking up the front right ever so slightly, but not too bad. It's not going to affect us too much. Actually stayed in third gear on that one for better rotation, and it did work, so very, very happy with that. Charles Leclerc goes fastest with a 121.3, but we're not worried about that. We're just concentrating on ourselves. So 4 temps up now on our previous best, so this is looking really good. Fuel wise, we've only just got a lap left, so as soon as we do this, we're going to have to basically return to the pits. Again, a slight lock up on the front right. I am pushing here, I really am, but we're really starting to catch up with Giovinazzi now, so I'm getting a little bit worried we're going to catch him and he's going to hold us up a little bit here as we go fast, go through the swooping section once more, and yeah, man, he just completely and utterly gets in the way, and that basically destroys our lap. So that's the end of that. But promising signs, I have to say. I was really frustrated with that, but promising signs. So hopefully for our second hopefully for our second run we will improve dramatically. On board then, on our flying lap, on our second run, you can see in the top right hand corner we are 8 temps up, but I just go wide on this corner and then I lose the rear end, and it costs me so much time. A massive shame there, because we were 8 temps up. We managed to cross the line around 4 temps quicker, but it doesn't really do anything for our time. We're still 3.5 temps off Magnussen, but if we managed to nail that, I think we would have beat Magnussen then, and we would have got P17. But unfortunately, again, that corner, it's just had us. Right then, folks, last run of qualifying. Look how close we were, by the way. We had 2 seconds left to cross the finish line to start our lap. We left that really at the last second. Well, 2 seconds ago, but that was quite something. Anyways, first corner and second corner dealt with quite nicely. Not too bad, but we're still in the red. Braking, locking up the front right, but not too much. Just going in the green. Swap between the green and the red here, really. Much nicer through that corner, and we managed to gain half a tenth or so, and we are now back into the green. So first sector is now complete. It's looking pretty tasty. Yeah, we're just up, but only ever so slightly. But this is going to be the make or break. Can we get Grosjean? Can we get Magnussen? Let's see what we can do. Now, we nailed that braking point there, and we're now 2 tenths up on our previous best. So this is looking really, really good. Once more through this really fast flowing section. Are we going to improve? No, not really. We kind of stay the same, which is a little bit disappointing. Just short of a quarter of a second up now. Braking as late as I possibly can. Slight lock up. And we just hit the grass, and oh no.
Your front wing
Bottled
is
it.
damaged. Expect a lot of
Bottled it.
unless we replace
That's
it.
frustrating. That's frustrating. I reckon we could have gone half a second clear then, because our exit around this corner and the last run was pretty poor. So I reckon we could have had Magnussen and Grosjean then, but yeah, unfortunately, just lost it on the grass, tapped it the grass, and it's just, yeah, unsettled the car, smashed into the wall. Thankfully, it's only a little bit of front wing end plate, and yeah, we move on. Now that qualifying one is over, you can really see, as I'm going to go through the times here, you can really see how close we were. We were around 3 or 4 tenths off the Hasses, Magnussen and Grosjean. So I reckon if we didn't bottle that lap, we could potentially have been in Q2, but we would have had no tyres left. So it's not really too bad. But let's crack on then, and let's go into our first ever race on this game.
It's finally time once again to begin what promises to be another thrilling season of Formula One action. Pre-season times, subject of so much discussion in recent weeks, mean nothing now, as the cars line up to battle it out for points once again. So let's get this season underway. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive, and certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez and Esteban Ocon, Stroll, Norris, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean and the owner driver, Giovinazzi, Russell, Aitken and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here we are then, folks, sat on the grid for our first ever race on this game and with this team. So with BOR, we're going to do our absolute best to get a decent result here. Not aiming for the points because I don't think that's possible, I don't think that's realistic. But either way, we'll do our very best. You never know what might happen. But strategy-wise, I'm just going to go with a default one. I feel like starting on the softs might be an advantage to us because we do need to take quite a few people because we are starting in P18. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that. And I'm not going to mess about with the fuel either because I feel like we're going to need that rich mixture purely because our engine is down on power. So we'll stick with the same amount of fuel. But that's the strategy and that's what I'm going to stick with. Let's do this. Here we go then, folks. I'm absolutely pumped for this. Let's see what we can do. 5 red lights and they're out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So the start's pretty good. Couldn't get the traction down on the 2nd and 3rd gear though, so we had to change early and it's cost us a little bit. So we've lost a place to Giovinazzi. We've gone for a move on the inside here. It is super, super tight. Giovinazzi has the inside for the next corner though, so we've lost the position, so not the best start in the world, but considering we've never done a start in this game before, that's not too bad, just one position. But we go for a little dive bomb on the inside here, we get past Giovinazzi, there's a yellow flag, so we're going to have to make sure we do not overtake Magnussen there, so he gets that position. We probably could have fought a little bit harder if it wasn't for that yellow flag, but we are still in P18 then, so we've not lost any positions, so I'll take that as a positive. I really will, but it looks like Gasly's slowing us up there. There's some sort of incident going up ahead, but the cars then, they're starting to form a little train there, and you can see they're actually starting to separate already, which is a little bit of a surprise, but they seem to like join again as we go through the next set of corners. So I really thought the midfield was already going to break away from the back markers, but it seems to there must have just been a slow car moving, joined back up again. But yeah, so far so good, no mistakes made so far. Not locking up, we've not made any mistakes. We're very happy with the pace so far. Getting really close to Magnussen there, thinking of a move, but signing against that. We lose the rear end there. There's the first mistake. Commentator's curse. I mentioned it earlier in this race on the first lap, and that's exactly what's happened. I just need to learn to not talk about it, and it won't happen. As soon as I mentioned it, it happens. Ridiculous. But annoyingly, we have ran out of ERS, well, the maximum we can deploy on that lap. So we've lost a lot of top-end speed, which means Giovinazzi's all over the back of us. And he goes for a move on the inside, try to give him as much move as possible, room I should say, and we just managed to defend it. And we have the inside for the next corner, and we are still in P18. But that was close. That was really close from Giovinazzi. So we're lucky to still be in P18. We defended that quite well. Our teammate, by the way, is in P20. So beating both the Williams. So I think that's a decent accomplishment, isn't it? Really, on your first race to be beating another team, and the fact that we are also ahead of our teammate as well. Very happy with that. But let's get our head down then, let's concentrate, and let's see if we can catch these guys up, and yeah, let's see if we can overtake the Haas's. Okay then, so now we're on lap 3, DRS has just been enabled, so we will have DRS on Magnussen in front of us, but he also has that himself. But we are going to try and push on a little bit here and try and get as close to Magnussen as we possibly can. I'm kind of leaving the fuel mix in rich and then flicking it to standard in the slower corners, really trying to maximise the fuel usage really. But yeah, as we get more used to the car, we will get quicker in this race. There's no doubt about that. But we're really we're getting closer, I feel. We've gone green in the first sector once more, so we're improving. Nice and smooth again. Just making sure no silly mistakes. Really, no silly mistakes. We need to minimise them. We really do. Hopefully the commentator's curse is not going to sting me on the bum on this lap. But yeah, I think our exit speed needs to be worked on a little bit. The AI seems to be quite strong in that area, so that's something we'll have to look into. Just going through this fast section once more, then just attacking one of the little markers there. We managed to get DRS, so DRS is definitely enabled then, and that is certainly going to help us out, and it is going to improve our lap times. Yes, we are getting the dirty air behind Magnussen, and it's probably affecting the airflow, the downforce, and maybe the tyre wear. But I think that DRS is probably worth it. But still quite a train of cars here, so no one's really separated too much. The pace seems quite evenly spread. So fingers crossed, if we do manage to get Magnussen, we can put our head down and maybe concentrate on the guys in front of us. But we crossed the line, and so we set a 1:27.1. Again, not setting the world alight whatsoever. But we're quite pleased with that. Just little niggly mistakes there, and that first corner there, the first and second corner, all over the place. And the time we've gained on Magnussen in that lap, we've lost. So we're going to have to, again, put our head down and concentrate and see if we can catch up with him once more. Moving ahead to lap 8 now, we really are struggling to make any sort of progress in this race, but we are getting there ever so slowly. But Magnussen has a big lock up there, and we really get close. And you can see there's just a gaggle of cars ahead then, fighting. It looks like Gasly, Grosjean, and maybe Raikkonen possibly. But it looks like Gasly's just overtaken Raikkonen then, and nearly losing the rear end there. But it looks like Raikkonen's going quite slowly, so maybe he has some sort of issue. I don't know, but we'll have to see if we can pounce on that. Maybe overtake a few cars here that struggle to get past him. But I believe lap 10 is when we're going to go in. We have a really nice first corner there, and second, right up the back of Magnussen then. Are we going to get a move? Let's look for a move on the inside. We just brake ever so slightly later. Looking for a move, take a bit too much curb there. It makes the car unstable. Yeah, and we lose the time. And yeah, not big, not clever. can see my rustiness on this game so far. That was just never going to work. So yeah, that was a poor attempt really. We could definitely go on later on the brakes I think, and we probably could have had it, but that's just rustiness setting in. Anyways, we are still on the back of this guy, but we are, again, we make mistakes, but then we do catch up. So I feel like if we do get past these guys, we will be able to kind of just streak away. We'll have no issues. I think our pace is fine, and we will get away. It's just finding that opportunity and taking it, to be honest with you. That's what we need to do, as we are just about to get DRS once, getting ever so close to hitting the grass there. But we've got that overtake button engaged, and we're in rich revs, and we are really close as Magnussen locks up his right front again. He's really struggling there. It's good to see that they've implemented the AI making mistakes in this game, which is really, really cool to see. You don't see it too often. Going through our kryptonite corner, actually taking it really, really well this time. So we're going to have to try and perfect that, because that's where we're losing our time basically. But once again, we are in rich revs, overtake mode. ERS is on max, but we just cannot get past Magnussen on that straight. We just do not have the top end speed, and look how close we are. DRS activated again, rich fuel mixture, overtake button engaged, and we go for a big boy dive bomb here. Much better this time, and we finally get past Kevin Magnussen. About time. I think that was a nice smooth move there, just late on the brakes, managed to get him on the inside, and yeah, nice simple overtake, but yeah, executed it well, and that's us up to P12 or 11 I should say, because everyone's going in the pits. So we've managed to jump a few people, but again, it will probably drop as the race goes on. But we're right behind Grosjean now, so it looks like we're going to have a little fight with Grosjean. And he is all over the back of that Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen. I definitely feel like he's got an issue. They seem to streak away on this straight, by the way. I don't know what they've got in those engines, but I suppose they're both Ferrari powered, aren't they, on this game? It's not been patched yet, so the power they have is unbelievable. But it looks like Grosjean's looking for a move on the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. That is ambitious to say the least. Kimi's trying to defend it here, but Grosjean's got the move unbelievably. Now it's put me really close to these guys here. It almost forces Grosjean off the track, and I'm going to go for a move on the inside here, locking up the front left, just getting past. But it's our time to pit, so it looks like we're going to be going in the pits at the same time as Roman. But we did manage to get the two guys behind us, which is great to see. So we managed to overtake two people there, and we are entering the pits now. So it's going to be a battle of the mechanics here to see who can change the tyres the quickest. Let's see what our boys can do. Put it down. It's just not engaging. It's just the green light there. 2.5 now. Annoyingly, Grosjean does gain a little bit of time, but it's not too dramatic, and it's just hard to get the power down when you let go of the pit limiter. So we've probably lost a second or so, but nothing too drastic. But yeah, we've still got DRS, but let's, fingers crossed, we'll be able to jump the two guys behind us. But we have, surprisingly, I didn't realise Raikkonen went in the pits as well. So we have actually managed to stay ahead of him then, because we managed to just overtake him before the pit stop. But he went in the pit stop at the same time as us. So we have managed to jump one guy, but let's see what happens in the next couple of laps then. Let's see if we actually manage to stay in front of Magnussen on the next lap. Back on the main straight then, have we done enough to jump one of the Hasses? I believe we have. We've managed to do it. That is now P16. This is lap 12. We managed to gain 2 positions so far. Nothing crazy, but it's good, solid progress, and that is exactly what we need for this racing team so far. No crashing out. We don't want any damage repairs. We don't want anything like that. We just want a nice, clean, solid first race. And I think that's exactly what we are having. It's interesting to see, or it will be interesting to see where Jack finishes in this race, because I'm hoping that he does really well. But we shall see. I think his objective is to beat both the Williams, and mine now that we have one of the Hasses, mine now is surely to try and overtake Romain Grosjean and try and get that P15 position off his hands. End of lap 14 then, just about to start lap 15. As you can see, there is a racing point in the pits then. So close to calling it Force India then. There's a racing point in the pits, so we are now up to P15. This Haas car is really proving difficult to overtake now. The engine in that thing is just absolutely brilliant. But there's a yellow flag up ahead then, and I think just in front of us then there is a slow AlphaTauri then, and that is promoted us up to P14. Looks like Gasly's got issues. Yeah, Pierre Gasly is out of the race. So, oh, a big lock up there on the front left. But thanks to retirements and issues so far, We are now up to P14. So we are just 4 positions off a points giving position. So if it keeps going our way, we may possibly just get a points finish. Right, come on Grosjean. This isn't even funny anymore, mate. Just give up, will you? Just let me overtake it. Right. Rich fuel mixture, overtake mode engaged. Let's just go for this. Dive bomb on the right hand side here, going for it. Locking up the front right, just about. Just giving each other enough room there, losing the rear end. This is not smooth at all, but we just about managed to get past the Frenchman. And again, we lock up that front left. That is not the cleanest or nicest overtake you will ever see. Probably won't want to look back on that overtake, but we managed to get the move done. Finally, we get past Grosjean. The gap to Kvyat is 8.7 seconds, so we've got it. That's a big task. That's a big thing to ask for that. We've got 12 laps left to go. Can we make up 9 seconds? Potentially 8? I'm not so sure. Lap 27 then. We are still putting in personal best, but as you can see in the top left-hand corner, it looks like Max Verstappen has DNF'd with just 3 laps to go. So that is now going to promote us up to P12. P12. That is a very, very good position to be in on your first ever race, I think. Skipping then to the last corner of the race, lap 29. We're going to cross the line in our first ever race on this career mode with this team. We're going to finish P12, 6 positions gained. I'm very, very happy with that. That went exactly how I wanted it to. Yeah, driver of the day as well. Quality, great stuff. Didn't show a picture, was a little bit annoying. But yeah, driver of the day, 6 positions gained, first ever real result for this team. I'll have to find out where Jack finished, but yeah, absolutely awesome. I am wary of how long this video is, by the way, so if you are still watching, thank you very, very much. I do appreciate how long this first video is, but it's just trying to fit everything in. There's so much that really goes into the career mode first episode, but it looks like then Valtteri Bottas won the race, but I think we're going to have a classification now. But there we go. So we've got Valtteri Bottas in first. It looks like Charles Leclerc in P3, and then we've got our boy Alex Albon in P3. My goodness, how much I'd love to see him on a podium in real life. Well, there you have it, folks. P12 confirmed. Ecstatic with that result. I think we did really well. We didn't wipe out, which is one of the main concerns I had. But what a mammoth episode of a career mode. Wow, this is a long one. But thank you so much for sticking around. I really, really do appreciate it. Once more, if you do like this kind of thing and you did enjoy this, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff. And I'll see you for the next one. Alright, you take care, everyone. Ta-da.